What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to be talking about some of the worst UFC robberies in the UFC history, I'm not going to be ranking them. They're not going to be in a specific order. I'm just going to go through some of these. I don't have a lot. I think I only have like 5, but I just want to talk about them. The background of why I wanted to make this video, okay, is I was watching the fights this past weekend, UFC Seattle, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. In the second fight, banger card, by the way, banger, one of the best. But the second fight, Ricky Simón versus Adrian Yanez. It's not on my list right here because, I didn't want to put it on, just happened. But that was a fucking robbery. That was. Adrian Yanez, that could honestly have been a 30-27 or a 30-26. Because the third round, he got a 10-8. Dude, if there was like 10 more seconds in the third round, Adrian Yanez would have TKO'd Ricky Simón. But the first round, he won. The second round, that's questionable. You could give it to Adrian Yanez, or you could give it to Ricky Simón. Bit of a toss-up. Third round, clear 10-8. But it was a draw. 2 judges saw it as Ricky Simón winning the first and the second round. There's no fucking way for that. So that was bad. And then later on, Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune happened, and Bruce Buffer read the cards wrong. He said Marcin Tybura won by 29-28 decision. And that was wrong. It was later changed. Bruce Buffer messed that up. He fucked it up badly. But when it was first read, my friend looked at me and goes, "Dude, you got to make a video on the worst robberies and have this on there." Maybe it wasn't as bad as a robbery. I have some of these, I have up here, but it was still bad. But luckily they changed it. But it gave me the idea to make this video. Quick background, sorry. Let's just get right into it with the first one. Maybe the worst robbery in UFC history. I know I'm not ranking these in order and shit, but Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov 2. This took place on UFC 311, I want to say. It was the Shavkat versus Ian Gary and Kaya Sakura versus Pantoja card. I think that was 311. But this happened, I think it was the third fight. And this was so fucking bad. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, dude, it's just a robbery. Like, it's not that big of a deal." It is a fucking big deal. The timeline this shit created is fucking terrible. It's terrible. Volkov, robbed of a win, goes on to have to face Almeida. Luckily, he won that. That could have been a robbery. But that's not the point. The worst timeline from this shit, yeah. Gane winning this probably was best for the company and everything, because Gane was gonna face Tom Aspinall. Volkov already faced him, but it made the new opponent, shit like that. But the timeline this shit created, oh my god, dude. Gane goes in and face Tom Aspinall. What happens? Probably the worst champion fight outcome that's ever happened. I poked Tom Aspinall. We already know. I don't have to go through this shit. The timeline, man. Yeah, the outcome was bad, but the timeline it created, dude, this shit is terrible. It's terrible. And on top of that, it's one of the worst robberies, if not the worst robbery in UFC history. You could honestly give Volkov 30-27. Okay? 29-28 Volkov at most. In no way can you give Gane any sort of win. You just can't. You just can't, dude. Round 1, first round, that was the most toss-up round in my mind. But I do think he won that. I do think it was a 30-27 Volkov. First round, Volkov gets 2 takedowns. Gane gets 1. Gane landed 2 more significant shots than Volkov. But, the ground and pound from the one takedown from Gane, that probably could have swayed because the 2 takedowns Volkov got, he didn't really do anything. Gane just, got back up. But I still think Volkov won that round. It was 2 more significant shots sways it to Gane. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And I'm pretty sure. No, that was the second round. Second round, the most significant strike of the fight is landed. Volkov spinning back fist Gane, and it's not like, whoa, what a good blow. What a good blow. It's significant, but it's not that significant. It literally fucking rocks Gane. Okay? It rocks him. Gets him doing the fucking hobbly wobbly legs. He's dancing all over the place. On top of that, Volkov spinning back fist lands, and then right away, knee to the midsection. Gane recovers, whatever. But he was obviously rocked. It was so obvious. You can't say he wasn't. He landed more. Volkov landed more shots. Gane got a takedown. But Volkov, it was kind of like one of those takedowns that, like 90% or like 75% was Gane taking him down. But then the other 25% was Volkov getting taken down because he went for the guillotine. He went for the ghillie. But on top of that, he got right back up after he realized the ghillie wasn't there. Now, hold on. Remember this. He shot for a ghillie, right? He shot for a ghillie. That, he didn't get it. And he was just kind of like sitting there, holding it for a second. Now, in the third round, as soon as the round starts, basically like 10 seconds goes by, Volkov goes for the takedown, and he gets it. Now, this is the reason why the judges thought this round was for Gane was because Gane held a Kimura and was going for Kimura, but it wasn't fucking there. In no world was Gane getting it, and it was just one of those situations where he was just holding it. He was just holding it. And he held it for half the round, but in no way, not even 1 second, was it like, oh shit, Gane might get this. Volkov might have to tap. No way. There's no way. Not 1 second. And 1 minute left on the clock. Volkov, he like just strengths out of that shit and then just pushes Gane back on his back and controls it for another minute. So the entire round, Volkov was essentially in control. Oh, but he was holding a Kimura. Oh, that's dangerous. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. No. And Volkov landed 3 out of 4 takedowns, had more control time, had more strikes. Now, the thing that I think the judges didn't realize was the entire fight, Volkov was throwing body kicks, right? Now, in my mind, because of how fucking stupid these judges are, I'm guessing that they thought the body kicks were blocked by Gane. But in actuality, Volkov was throwing the body kicks with like his toes pointing. You know what I'm talking about? Those body kicks like that. He was throwing it like that. So even though it may have looked like it was blocked, his toes were fucking digging in Gane's body. Maybe not as bad, but they were still landing. It wasn't completely blocked, That's a little theory I have. But the overall thing, okay? The overall reason this happened, basically, was the one judge. I forget her name. We're just going to call her Fuckface, okay? Lady Judge Fuckface, who was judging this fight, was the one judge from Canelo versus Triple G, I think the first fight, and she gave it to Canelo, and it was one of the worst judge decisions, to the point where she got booed out of the fucking arena. Out of the arena. And then she goes on to judge this fight, and it's one of the, like I said, one of the worst, if not the worst, robberies in UFC history. It's so fucking bad. Volkov easily wins, but it just goes to Gane's split decision. Nobody fucking thought Gane won. Gane didn't even. He knew he didn't win. He walked out of the cage. He was like, What's the? I didn't win that fight. You know, because he's French. Shit like that. And Volkov, he goes out, and Dana White's like, well, we'll do right by that, buddy. I don't fucking know. I don't know what happened. And listen, like, I get it. The UFC isn't really, doesn't really control the judging. It's by the commission. But still, it's fucking terrible. And like I was saying, the timeline it created is just disgraceful. You got to feel bad for Volkov. Now he's supposed to face Waldo Cortez Acosta. I got him winning. I think it's going to be similar to the Sergey Pavlovich fight. Finally on the back foot. But still, like, this is terrible. I don't really have that much to say about it anymore. You know, all that's said is done. But still, one of the worst, if not the worst. Let's get on to Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. Now, this is one of the fights where you can't, just like the Volkov fight, you can't score it for Pimblett. You can't. You really can't. It's just like Volkov fight. Jared Gordon wins this 30-27, maybe 29-28. But instead, they give it to Paddy UD. Unanimous decision. Get the fuck out of here. The entire fight, Paddy Pimblett was throwing punches, and in my mind, I'm like 95% sure that almost every punch that he threw, Jared Gordon was blocking. Because, you know, maybe there were definitely some shots where it, you know, is very obvious that were landed on Jared Gordon's face. He was also landing really good leg kicks, but so was Jared Gordon. But Jared Gordon he had his hands up. Every single exchange Paddy Pimblett was throwing, it was landing on Jared Gordon's guard. More than half of his shots, I want to say, too. But with Jared Gordon, every time he threw, dude, that shit was rocking Pimblett's face back. Every left hand was landing. Every single left hand was landing. And on top of that, he was landing some good kicks, Jared Gordon. Paddy landed a good high kick at one time, but he was working in the clinch. Takes him down again. Takes him down, I think, multiple times. Like, more than 2 times. Controlled him every single time. Defended a takedown in the first round. I would even say it was a takedown because Paddy Pimblett went for a takedown, but Jared Gordon reversed it. So if it was not counted as a takedown, it was definitely a reversal. He wasn't even on the ground, but he reversed it and landed on top. I don't think that shouldn't be scored as, oh, it was just Paddy Pimblett just messing up. He just casually slipped. Maybe there was a fucking banana peel on there. No. That was Jared Gordon's, like, not fault, but, you know, it's just fucking disgraceful. I get it, man. Paddy Pimblett, he's the star. We gotta have him. And sure, like with the Volkov fight and the decision, it was definitely good for the company and shit because, you know, Paddy Pimblett has become the star he has. Just fought against Justin Gaethje in the interim lightweight belt, lost, but that was a banger of a fight. But still, 30-27, Jared, arguably 29-28. More control time, more takedowns, more significant strikes. Maybe even if, a website or something, or even the UFC, I don't remember what the UFC said, but Jared Gordon definitely had the more significant strikes. 100%. 100%. But yeah, terrible decision. Definitely up there, top 5. I'm not ranking these, but I'm just saying. Now we get on to infamous Jon Jones versus Dominic Reyes. Jon Jones wins this unanimous decision. Now, here's the thing with this fight. Oh, I'm trying not to get riled up. Trying not to get mad. It's not even just about Dominic Reyes should have won the belt. It's not really just about the belt. It's about fucking legacy. It's about legacy. Jon Jones, undefeated. Yeah, you could say Matt Hamill, I think his name is. The guy, he got no contest, and that's like his one loss. or not no DQ, whatever. This would be his first loss. His first loss, especially when he was looking undefeated, like undefeatable. Wait, what? Wait. He looked like he couldn't lose. That's what I'm trying to say. He looked like no one was gonna get in there and put this guy out. Nobody looked like they were gonna go out there and outpoint him. Whatever. Nobody looked like they could beat Jon Jones. Nobody. He was dismantling everyone. Oh yeah, Santos, whatever. I don't care. Nobody looked like they could beat him. Everyone thought that was the most obvious thing. Dominic Reyes goes out there and pieces Jon Jones up the first and the third round. Okay? It was an easy 48-47 Dominic Reyes. Fourth and fifth. The fourth, I honestly, in a different universe, Dominic Reyes won the fourth. But at the end of the day, he won the first, second, and third. Jon Jones took over fourth and fifth. Dominic Reyes kind of gassed out. And yeah. But the first round landed twice as many strikes than Jon Jones. Defended the 2 takedowns. Every time Jon Jones leg kicked, Dominic Reyes would leg kick. He landed good combos. The second round landed really good leg kicks too. Was going to the body a lot. Jabs to the body. Landed a nice left uppercut, which happened again later in the fight. In the it was the fourth round, I'm pretty sure. But Jon Jones in the second round was just leg stomping and throwing kicks that were blocked by Dominic Reyes. So first and second, easy. Third round, defends the takedown from Jones. Lands a nice clinch elbow. Keeps going to the body. Lands a high and a body kick. And then lands another beautiful uppercut. But, now here's the thing. His nose starts to get bloody. That's probably what the judges saw and were like, damage. It was a fucking bloody nose. It's not like his eye was fucking purple. It's not like that. It's a bloody nose. And it wasn't even that bad in that round. Fourth, like I said, Jones starts to take over. Lands a takedown. Dominic gets back up. Jones is now bleeding out of his nose. And Dominic Reyes just really slows down. But he still gets a couple punches in, you know? Jones, later in the fourth round, lands knees, elbows, lands a good combo at the end. And fifth, at the beginning, lands a good 1-2 leg kick, but then gets taken down and just kind of walked down a little bit. But the entire time, yeah, Jon Jones was the one holding the center, but Dominic Reyes, with his impressive footwork, his boxing and everything, he's boxing won the fight, easily. Now, here's the thing, too. I was talking about that lady judge, and I forget what judge gave it. Maybe it was Mike Bell. I forgot who gave it to him. But in what fucking world did this fight show a 49-46 for Jon Jones? What fucking world? What judge, maybe it was Mike Bell, but what judge came into the arena, smoked a cigar, smoked a blunt, drank a couple beers, and said, "Hey, it's time to judge the fight. Let's go." What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? 49-46? There's a better argument for 49-46 Dominic Reyes. Now that's crazy. I don't understand. I really don't. Reyes landed more significant strikes throughout the fight. Jon Jones, came back up fourth and fifth, but still. The first and the second, the first through the third, no takedowns from Jones. It's an easy 48-47 Reyes. And like I said in the beginning of this breakdown for this fight, it's not just about the belt, it's about the legacy, man. It's about the legacy. And yeah, after this, Reyes went downhill, incredibly downhill. Now he's supposed to face Johnny Walker at UFC 327. I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be a banger. Do I think he's going to win? I don't know. Stay tuned for the prediction video. But, yeah, this fight is just terrible. I feel really bad for Dominic Reyes. I met the guy, too. He's a super nice guy. He's so nice. And fuck John Jones, too. PED. Shit like that. Let's just get on to the next one. But, yeah, terrible. Terrible. Fucking terrible. GSP versus Johnny Hendricks. GSP wins it by split decision. I don't know how. Even Dana White doesn't know how. This fight had the infamous clip of Dana White coming to the press conference after and asking the news outlets and shit and reporters, did anyone think GSP won that fight? Did anyone think Johnny Hendricks didn't win that fight? And it was obvious. It was obvious. Johnny Hendricks outlanded him. I think GSP landed a couple, like not a lot, maybe less than 10 more significant strikes. Johnny Hendricks had more control time. I think they both had like a 50% takedown average. I think GSP landed one more takedown. But also damage. Dude, look at GSP's face after this fight and then look at Johnny Hendricks' fight. I'm not going to go too much about this fight, but just look at the two faces and, like, what the fuck do you think? How do you look at these guys' faces? Now, I know damage really isn't everything. It's round by round. But still, look at these guys' faces and tell me that GSP won. Also, this shouldn't play a part in the fight decision making because it was like, it only happened after. But Johnny Hendricks was on PEDs. PEDs. And after this fight, or after he got caught and came back without PEDs, he looked fucking completely different. But still, it wasn't in the moment. In the moment, Johnny Hendricks won. And on top of that, it was this fight that GSP, after getting the robbery win, goes, I need to take some time off. I need to deal with some stuff and shit like that. And he retires, later comes back for middleweight champ. But still, he retires. And what kind of retirement is that? He lost. And everyone knew it. I think every news outlet or like reporter or just everyone gave it to Hendricks. I don't get it. I really don't. But let's get on to the last one. Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. Now, I don't think a lot of people know about this. This happened UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. Pretty sure it's the first fight of the night. It was a banger too. But Rinat got the UD win. Now, listen, I know highlights aren't everything, okay? But I just want you to go watch, look up this fight and look up the highlights. Don't look up Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal, Rinat highlights, or Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal highlights. Don't look at that up. Don't look that shit up. Just look up the highlights in general. All of them are going to come from Carlos Leal for good fucking reason. First round, both landing. Leal gets taken down. But I just want to say, throughout this entire fight, Carlos Leal, underrated chin, makes Muslim Salikov, who KO'd him, look so much better because, dude, this guy's chin is insane. But also maybe because Rinat doesn't have any fucking KO power. But Carlos Leal, throughout this entire fight, was eating Rinat's punches like they were fucking gummy worms. He was putting them in his mouth and just chewing them and just fucking spitting him back. Oh, shit. And spitting him back. It was fucking crazy. None of the punches looked like it bothered him for a split second. But every shot that Carlos Leal landed on Rinat, dude, I understand body language isn't everything. But after every punch landed by Leal, Rinat literally looked like he was walking with half of his brain shut off. And just his overall body language, his stature and everything. Dude, this guy looked like he was dead, standing up. His legs were fucking destroyed. I think it was, yeah, the second round. Liao really hurts Renat with the leg kick, and it's so obvious. Renat like buckles and limps a little, and it was just the entire fight. Liao was landing really good leg kicks and punches, definitely more significant strikes. Renat landed a couple takedowns, but still, a judge gave Renat 30-27, which is crazy. A lot of people think it was 30-27 for Liao. I honestly think it was 29-28 Liao. But a 30-27 for Renat is fucking oh my god, do it again. Is fucking insane. Please go watch this. It's crazy. Every shot looked like it hurt Renat badly. There wasn't really a knockdown, but still, it looked crazy. But yeah, those were some of the worst robberies in UFC history. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be releasing a video on underrated UFC fighters this week too, on top of my UFC. What's this week's main event? Oh yeah, Renat, fucking Renat, Moicano versus Chris Duncan. So that's gonna be that is an Apex card. If there's ever been an Apex card, that's an Apex card. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.